What's going on, everyone? So I know a lot of people don't like the big name conversations, right? Steph Curry in particular, right? People, Steph Curry is never going to happen. Like, why even talk about it? Why even address it? Well, outside of like, that's the news that's out there. The other thing is they just keep making it harder and harder not to talk about it, right? Like these guys, Steph and LeBron, they know what their words and certain things that they put out there and certain things that they say, what that does and the conversations that draws up and the media attention and, content creators like myself and all of those factors go into play whenever they say something, right? So Steph, once again, decides to bring up playing with LeBron and talks about he wants to have more experiences playing with LeBron, teammate or not. Well, how do you have more experiences playing with LeBron? He didn't say playing against LeBron or, playing, alongside, like talking about playing with, like alongside LeBron. Now, of course, you can interpret the not as, playing against him, playoff matchups and stuff like that, right? They've had this like grueling history against each other for years. It was, Steph versus LeBron, and both sides really kind of played into that, especially early on, right? That rivalry. But you've seen as their age progresses and as that like into the tunnel starts to come, the more you see them really embracing each other and the more that they keep talking about wanting to play with each other. And it just, again, like it was silent. Like it went away. You had the moment for, a month or so, then it went away. But then, again, when you talk about it, bring it up, it just adds more fuel to the fire, right? Now I get, if you're asked a question, you're going to answer it. And I get that, you want to appease and, stir up that pot, right? Like, again, that's how you stay in the spotlight. It's how you do those things. But I don't think it's as unlikely as some people think it is. There's a lot of people that think it's very likely. Now, I don't think it's a lock. I think it's less likely than it is likely, but it wouldn't shock me if it happens. Right? Again, I've said this before. If I told you 10 years ago LeBron James was going to be a Laker, people would be trying to cancel me. They'd be coming with the pitchforks like, no, take Tyler down. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Clickbait, blah. But guess what? LeBron James is a Laker. And then if I told you LeBron James and Anthony Davis would be on the same team, teaming up together and winning a championship, you would tell me, like, I've lost my mind. Lock him up. He needs to be in a psych ward, right? But guess what? That's a reality. And the Lakers have had history. I mean, you could go back. Kareem, Wilt, Shaq, right? Pow. Like, if I told you some of these things, people would think I was crazy. Even Gary Payton and Karl Malone at stretches, if I told you that they were ever going to be Lakers. And they went to the finals, right? If Karl Malone was healthy, that might have been a completely different finals, right? Dwight Howard, right, in his prime. Right? There's so many things, especially right after they ended up beating them in the finals. If I told you Dwight Howard was going to be a Laker, people would tell me I'm crazy, right? So it's not something that I think is that far-fetched. Now, again, I don't think it's super likely. I think that there's some hurdles and some obstacles that they got to get across. I don't believe that happens this season. I don't think Steph ends up a Laker this season. But in the offseason, that I definitely think could be a factor. If the Warriors aren't very good, right, and LeBron can opt out and restructure his contract. LeBron James was willing to restructure his contract for guys like Valanciunas, DeMar DeRozan, and Klay Thompson. You don't think he would do that for Steph? So Steph could come to the Lakers? Of course he would. And we'd have expiring contracts like Gabe Vincent and Rui. And D'Lo, you could always do like a, where, you sign him to a one-year deal, like inflated contract or something like there's ways to work around. It's easier to do it in the offseason. Also, Lakers could get completely under the first apron if they want, kind of let all the money fall off the books. LeBron opts out, right? Now you can kind of work out a deal, take on some salary, and then LeBron can kind of just take whatever's left, right? Boom, there you go. You round out your roster, you do what you need to do, and LeBron takes, $25 million. He was willing to take potentially $35 million for Klay and Valanciunas and guys like that. They could take an extra $10 million off the top just to play alongside Steph for 2 years, right? A lot of people look at that new extension and go, oh, that's a sign that means he's not coming. No, it actually makes it make more sense that he gets traded, right? Because that does a couple things. One, it ensures that if a team like the Lakers trade for Steph, that they don't have to worry about it being a one-year rental, where 1 year he retires or he leaves or anything like that. No, you'd have him for at least 2 years. He'd line up with LeBron. He'd line up with Anthony Davis. So literally all three of your stars would line up. You got 2-year window to go win a championship, hopefully 2, and then that's that, right? Everybody falls off. Lakers go into a rebuild, right? That more likely is the scenario. Also, the other side of that, you got the extension out of the way now, so it ensures that Steph gets his money in case, because he is getting older, right? What if he does get hurt? Knock on wood. What if there is something that, let's say he didn't do that extension, he does get traded to Lakers, and then he gets hurt, and the Lakers are like, we don't want to pay you $60 million. Sorry, right? Like, it basically locks up the bag for him long term, adds security for not only Steph, but also the team that would potentially trade for him. And again, you have that kind of last push, that last hoorah with these guys, right? So to me, if he wanted to use the extension as a way to say, hey, I'm retiring here, then he would have done it next season. He would have done it later, right? He would have done, he also, if he wanted more time, more years, he would have done what LeBron did. Because of the 38 rule, he can't sign more than a 1-year extension. So if he really wanted to get the max money possible, he would have just let this contract expire, opt out, and then sign a 1+1 like LeBron does with the Warriors, in which he can opt in, add a no trade clause, do whatever. The Warriors are going to give him whatever he wants. The Warriors aren't going to be like, no, sorry, Steph. We just don't want to. No, the Warriors are going to go, absolutely. Yeah, here you go for everything you've done for us. So again, if Steph wanted to kind of put the rumors to bed, if he kind of wanted to put himself in a position to maximize as much money as possible, he would have approached this very different, right? And Steph has said himself, he doesn't want to be on a bottom-feeding team. He would love to retire a Warrior. He'd love to be a Warrior his entire life, right? But he doesn't want to be on this bad team. And the Warriors make no sense. They have a young core that they're very high on. Pod, Kuminga, all these guys, Trace Jackson, even Moody, right? These guys, the Warriors are very high on, and they don't want to sell them. They didn't want to even trade some of these guys to go get a Lauri Markkanen, right? They believe that they have their core for the future. So why would they go and sell that core to now go and what? Right now, you got Steph for 2 years, and then now you got to start all over, and you're hoping you get pieces like these guys, right? And even then, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to get? And then the whole LeBron going to the Warriors. Now, look, that's a real possibility. The Warriors could clear $40 million in salary next season. LeBron could just go sign with the Warriors outright, right? So that's always a real possibility. But one, Rich Paul doesn't want that to happen. Rich Paul stopped any conversations for a potential trade to the Warriors. And two, it makes more sense for Steph coming to the Lakers because the Warriors get more young pieces. They're going to get Reeves. They're going to get Max. They're going to get basically whatever. Lakers are going to give you whatever you want. You're going to get more assets. You're going to get more future pieces, right? And on top of that, for LeBron and Steph, it makes more sense for both of them to be on the Lakers with Anthony Davis than it is the Warriors with Draymond Green. Who has a better chance of winning a championship? Anthony Davis, still in his prime, LeBron James and Steph Curry, or Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Draymond Green, right? Again, I'm not saying the Warriors can't win a championship with LeBron and Draymond, but they kind of conflict a little bit. How does that work? Both are power forwards, so what, are you going small and you're playing Draymond at the 5? Again, you have Anthony Davis on the Lakers. The likelihood of you winning a championship on the Lakers is far greater than with the Warriors, right? Now, obviously, it depends on how good of a coach JJ is, because if JJ doesn't work out, but that's why I don't think anything happens this year. I think this year will be the year both teams, both organizations, both stars kind of just let things play how they play out. And then I think that they have a real conversation next year of hey, you got 2 years left, Steph. Right, you got next year, and then you got your opt-in year or the extension year. I can opt in. I can do a 1+1. Right, get a new contract, bring you over here. What do you think? Right, and I think that they'll really start to explore those conversations. I really do think next offseason, Steph to the Lakers is going to ramp up. I think it's going to ramp up heavily, right? I think it'll be like Kyrie going to the Lakers again, where it's just like, it seems like it's a thing. Now, the difference is, I think that the Warriors would trade Steph to the Lakers. I do. I think that they will do right by their star, where Joe Tsai basically wanted to spurn Kyrie Irving. He did not want to give Kyrie what he wanted. Joe Tsai said, I will trade him anywhere but the Lakers, right? They took a lesser package to send him to Dallas. Why? Because he didn't want to give Kyrie what he wanted. I don't see that being the case with the Warriors. I think the Warriors will do whatever Steph wants to do because they're going to want to do right by the greatest player they've ever had in their franchise. And then a lot of people bring up like legacy. Oh, you'll tarnish Steph's legacy and LeBron. They're both 40. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's not going to tarnish their legacy. If they win, if anything, that'll bolster their legacy, right? Because now they won together. Like, again, LeBron's already cemented. People either believe he's the greatest player ever or they don't. It's just the reality, right? That's never going to change. LeBron could win the next 4 seasons, and the people that believe he's the greatest ever are going to believe he's the greatest ever. The people that don't are never going to do it. There's nothing LeBron can do at this point to convert those non-believers, right? And Steph, again, like, he's been a Warrior their entire career. All the championships he won was with the Warriors. Like, nobody's going to blame, at that point, it'd be what, a 38, going on 39-year-old Steph Curry? No one's going to blame a 39-year-old Steph Curry for not wanting to go through a rebuild and wanting to go to a team in which he can win with. Like, no one's going to be like, oh, man, Steph just ruined his legacy. There will be people that talk like that, but it's just foolishness. Now, if they were both in their prime, yeah, if they were both, 27, then yes, I do think that there would be, or, LeBron was saying 32 or whatever the age difference. I think they're like, 3 years apart, 2 years apart. All right, so again, like if LeBron was 30 and Steph was like 27, yes, I do believe that would impact their legacy. But at this stage of their careers, I don't think it does anything other than just like give basketball fans excitement, right? The NBA, it would be great for everybody. It'd be great for basketball fans. It'd be great for the NBA. It'd be great for LeBron and Steph. What it would do for just the marketing and just growing their brand. The money across the board would be ridiculous. The Lakers organization, the amount of money that they would make, right? Like, and it's just a better story on the Lakers than it is with the Warriors, right? It's nothing against the Warriors. The Warriors have been an excellent franchise the last, 15 years, right? But like, it's the Lakers. It's Hollywood. It's La La Land, right? Like the media attention and coverage and all that stuff that LA gets compared to all these other markets, right? Like, you're just not going to get, like, you're going to get a ton of attention regardless. But there's, like San Francisco attention, and then there's LA, Hollywood attention. And, they'll be making 30 for 30s and they're going to make all kinds of stuff about this, right? Like the opportunity financially for all players. Like, LeBron and Steph could team up for free and probably make $100 million, right? Like, it's just the amount of money that would generate is insane. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What your thoughts are? Do you think that, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire? Again, I want to say, like, I don't believe it's super likely, but I don't think it's unlikely. Right? I would say like 70-30 right now. Now, obviously, that could change as we get closer, right? Because I want to see, how do the Warriors look? How do the Lakers look, right? Like, how are both teams, like, what is both players' body language, right? There's a lot that you still need to see between now and next offseason, right? Do the Lakers end up pulling off some trades and making some moves to which basically takes them out of the Steph conversation? Like, that could always be a possibility, right? If they go and trade for, like, Jeremy Grant and do all this stuff, and essentially it's like, the Warriors aren't going to take on a bunch of long-term salary just to trade Steph, then yeah, a lot could change between now and then. But however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.